And the wait continues. Who will be the next president of Nigeria? Well, 73 candidates are jostling for the #1 seat in the country, but there can only be one winner.
There can only be one winner, and all eyes are on INEC. That's the Independent National Electoral Commission, Nigeria's electoral umpire, to fulfill its mandate of not just counting the votes, but making sure that all the votes count.
Absolutely. We're glad to have you join us on Post-Trim as we cover all the angles just for you in the build-up to the big announcement by INEC. I am Kayode Okikiolu.
And I'm Anne Nwawade. Once again, welcome to Post-Trim. Right here, we take you through the social media space, which, as you would expect, is a buzz at the moment. Since yesterday, actually.
Exactly.
The major topic on the lips of users, or do I say the major topic on the tip of their fingers, is actually the 2019 elections.
And the good thing is you can be a part of the conversation too by using hashtag Post-Trim, hashtag The Verdict, or hashtag 2019 elections on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. You can tell us what's your high point and, what was your low point during the presidential and National Assembly elections.
That's true. But don't forget to use the hashtags while sending in your highs and lows. Please make sure you use those hashtags so that we can see them and share them. That's only how you get to be part of the conversation. Follow Channel Stevie on all our social media platforms on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We are there, and you can get the latest news and updates as Nigeria decides.
You can trust us. Well, a decision-making process as critical as the 2019 general elections can be a bit complex for various reasons. And, the last thing we need at this point is fake news.
Yes, and the INEC boss actually talked about fake news, but thanks to social media, this has become a major talking point, and the chairman of INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, has this to say.
I can only appeal to the social media to please be circumspect in the way we report, particularly the outcome of elections. I've seen some of the reports say one candidate has been declared winner, and then when you read it, they will say in his polling unit. So the position of the commission is that INEC as a commission does not support censorship. We don't support censorship. And we believe that the best antidote to fake news is more openness and transparency. And that is what we are doing through this medium, to explain and clarify and respond to your questions. But I can only appeal to those who operate at that level to please be extremely circumspect in the kind of information that they put forward. Recall what I told you earlier in one of our news briefings. There was a screaming headline, breaking news, INEC chairman has stepped down. And if you read the they say INEC chairman stepped down from his car to address press. Citizens have the right to have access to information, but often it's what we make of the information that we have access to in a way that does not create problems for the system. And so I will continue to appeal to citizens. Information will be readily available, but please always be careful in the way you use the information.
All right. So those are words from the INEC boss. Be careful how you use information. I know we're quick at wanting to know, oh, who's winning, who's doing this. But remember that as you spread that news, it might incite violence, might even incite people who didn't even have plans to do whatever. So please be careful as you use social media.
And it's interesting to also note that whatever information you put out there has a ripple effect. I mean, some just put it out for mischief purpose. Some put it, out of ignorance. But know that whatever information you're putting out there can have a major consequence. And that's why you have channels television where you can verify all the facts, where you can verify what is true and what is not true. By the way, our social media platforms are open. ChannelTV.com is also there for you to get the latest information and, of course, the truth as it concerns the 2019 elections. And when he finished, what came to my mind was be guided.
Be guided, right? So be guided, that's the word, Kayode, and the INEC boss are telling you right now. So waiting patiently can be really demanding.
And speaking of being guided, actually, don't you think we should have some sort of guidelines?
Like do's and don'ts?
Especially now that people are waiting anxiously, I mean, who will be the next president, who will represent us at the Senate or the House of Representatives? Maybe there should be some do's and don'ts.
And then even ahead of the gubernatorial election, so there should be a guideline of some sort. Yes.
So, you know what, to help us do that, let's bring you Maokwe Ogun Yusuf, all the way from our Abuja studio right here in Lagos via our virtual reality interface.
Hello, Maokwe. All right, hello, Maokwe.
Okay, while we wait to get Maokwe, I can see you, but we can't hear you yet. But also, it's important to note that this is a very, very critical time in Nigeria. Social media is a great tool, by the way. I mean, a lot of people would not have known about, some of the violent attacks that happened yesterday, some of the, shortfalls, some of the errors that occurred, but for social media. So it is a good tool, but it's also very important to learn to use that tool the right way.
The right way. I mean, I was talking about telling someone about how youths in Nigeria are actually not using social media the right way, where they talk about what they want on social media, but they're not coming out to do and act like the way they want it.
So let's go back to the guidelines. Maokwe Ogun Yusuf is joining us from Abuja. Hi, Maokwe.
Hello, Coyote.
Finally.
I'm sure you must be excited to know that the National Collation Center is opening by 6 p.m. today.
Exactly, yes. It is opening by 6 p.m. today. So, Maokwe.
And you know, the waiting process is a tricky one. So I'll just start by asking you, how are you handling your nerves at this point?
Well, at this point, I have no nerves. Take it or leave it. I actually do not have any nerves because I think we've seen this happen before. When it happened, when it happened in 2015, when we saw the INEC chairman collating results and seeing what was going on, I think then I had nerves, but not this time around. I have absolutely no nerves. I'm just watching to see what is going to happen at the end of the day. Who is going to emerge? Will the incumbent stay? We'll have a new president in form of somebody who's been there before as vice president. We don't know. We don't know, but I have no nerves. I'm not a politician. I support no side on this one. So I'm just going to be an observer. So absolutely no nerves on this one.
Okay, Maokwe, so Kaida and I were talking about do's and don'ts. So we feel that there should be proper guidelines.
Well, at least we can make up ours.
Or let's just make up our own
some sort of life skills, while waiting for the official announcement. What are your thoughts?
It's allowed to make up your own guidelines. I think top on the schedule is what you already said. Stay informed. By all means, be informed. You can use social media as, the veritable tool that almost everyone is using now. Use what you see online. Watch TV, which is where we are.
Exactly.
And I think as much as possible, the information you get on TV is usually verified. It's usually something you can take to the bank. What you see online, you would need to verify the sources. You have to know precisely who is sharing that information. Is it a source that can be trusted? Of course, if you're going to the sites of, established sources like, say the TV stations, the radio stations, INEC itself, perhaps, yes, those sources can be trusted. But if you're just going online and looking at any kind of source, be careful. Be careful. Make sure that whatever you see online that is not from a trusted source, you verify and verify again. That is extremely important. Whatever it is you do stay informed. I think it's extremely important for anyone to stay informed so that you can even know what is happening in your area. It might just be a few meters away from you. It might be in your community. It might be in your local government. You never can tell. Just stay informed, which is I would say is guideline number one.
So that's the first, do stay informed.
And don't, right?
Exactly. You earlier mentioned, just before that, that you have no nerves. Can you share some of them? I mean, how can people stay at home and, douse the nerves, which, I mean, it's expected?
I don't know why, I don't know if people would have nerves. I should think that by yesterday, whatever nerves people had should have been quelled. Why? Because if there's anything, at least you know the results that came out from your own polling unit. You have been able to, if you voted, you sat in your polling unit, you know who won in your polling unit. Perhaps you know who won in your neighbor's polling unit. Perhaps you know who won in many polling units around you. And I think that should give you a sense of satisfaction, a sense that at least you have an idea of, you know, just how close the polls might be, which direction it might swing. But I think that largely, whatever nerves people felt should have been doused by yesterday. If it hasn't, I think that some of the news that we got that were not so pleasant should also, you know, douse the tension, should also douse nerves, maybe make people sad. But then you should also look at the upbeat side, the fact that a lot of Nigerians came out to vote, the fact that largely, even though, yes, we had some incidences of violence, largely the process was, you know, was peaceful in many areas. Some people reported, you know, extremely easy polls in their area. Sadly, in some areas it was like passing through the eye of a needle. But I think that majorly, whatever the anxiety I felt was about how the polls were going to be conducted. Well, INEC, after postponing elections the previous Saturday, get it right this Saturday. We have seen, I think everybody has seen how the polls have gone. Whether or not INEC did a good job, the jury is still out there. But I think that the results, you know, I think they are the least important part. They're important nonetheless. But I think majorly what is important for most people and what should be important to most people is the process, which you've already seen yesterday. So I said, now, I say again, I have no nerves.
You have no nerves.
You guys feel. Do you have nerves?
So we've talked about the do's. Let's see what we shouldn't do while waiting for election. What do you think is that one thing that could, you know?
Well, please do not start posting results of your local government or anything. Don't do that. Don't post results of your state. We already understand that the National Collation Center is going to be inaugurated today by 6 p.m. That's in less than an hour from now. We understand that Ekiti State results are ready and that the State Electoral Commissioner is on his way to Abuja, should be here anytime soon. And so we should see results coming in from the states very soon. Collation should be taking place at the national level very soon. So there is no need, there is no hurry whatsoever to start posting results, you know, to say somebody won or somebody did not win. I don't think that is necessary. As much as possible, people should exercise restraint. Do exercise restraint. Do stay calm. Do not over-celebrate. If your candidate is winning or you think your candidate has won, please do not over-celebrate. Exercise some restraint. This is supposed to be some sportsmanship as well, you know, where the winner should congratulate whoever loses should also take it magnanimously, should not, you know. So I think in the manner in which people will celebrate or not celebrate, or the manner in which people react after they have heard the final results might mean a great deal. So people should, by all means, please show some restraint. By all means, show some restraint. Celebrate if you must, celebrate if you have to, but please show some restraint. I think that's extremely important. Anna and Coyote.
All right. Always good to see you, Malwe. Thank you so much for your time on polls.
I actually jotted a lot of things. I have my do's and don'ts.
Like I can call Malwe an analyst right now.
Brilliant.
Thanks a lot for your time. All right. We'll see you again very soon, okay? Take care.
Yeah, see you too.
All right. So that's Malwe Ogun Yusuf, all the way from the nation's capital, Abuja. She has been talking to us about what to do, what not to do, as we expect results on the 2019 election. So please take to those guidelines, stick to them. We're giving them to you.
They'll definitely work. Well, we'll take a short break on Poll Stream now, and when we return, we'll bring you some more reactions from across the country, from observers and some other important points, talking points.
And some of you sent in your pictures and videos also, so we'll be showing them on Poll Stream today as to your experience for yesterday. So
join us again.
Okay, welcome back. You're still watching Poll Stream right here on Channels Television. This is a dedicated coverage of the 2019 elections, the verdict. And this is our segment where we get to talk about all the happenings on social media, all our social media platforms on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We give you the mood and let you know what people are feeling on social media.
That's true. Well, it's still the day after the presidential and National Assembly elections here in Nigeria, but that's just the beginning of the story. One major question on the lips of Nigerians and other observers is how long till we get the official announcement of results from INEC? Well, you'll just have to stay with Channels Television to find out. So you can be a part of the conversation.
I'm an observer for Connected Development Code here in Kwara State. I was privileged yesterday to observe election process in Ilorin South Metropolis. Yesterday was quite engaging. People came out in mass to perform their civil rights of voting. The process went on peacefully, though we had issues of limited security personnel, because in Akom B5, we had just one civil defense officer. And during the process of collation and counting of votes, there was an issue between the INEC officials and the political party agents, because they insisted the INEC official destroy the unused ballot papers before counting of votes should commence. And in the end, the INEC officials agreed and they destroyed the unused ballot papers, and they counted the results, and the whole process went on peacefully. There was no hiccup, there was no issue reported of electoral malpractice. It all went on peacefully and went out peacefully yesterday.
Good afternoon. My name is Ejogwa Peter Oga, and I am coordinator for Nasarawa State for Connected Development. For Nasarawa State, we've not had any serious form of violence except for some skirmishes in some of those polling units where voters thinking that they were not being allowed to vote at the time they wanted to had to fight themselves. And then for some other polling units, we also noticed that election materials didn't come on time. And we had to excuse INEC for that because they said the time frame for the voting was also extended. So except for those issues that were noticed, we also had observers that came up with issues that they were not given their materials and kits for the elections as well. So except for all of these things that have been mentioned, for Nasarawa State so far, the elections have gone very smoothly and so fair.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Maria Markuchilia, and I'm the lead observer for Connected Development here in Bauchi. So what we observed so far about the election is that it has been so peaceful. There was no any report of any violence anywhere, though the elections started mostly in most polling units very late, especially in Tifa-Balewa local government area. We've received reports that it started like around 1 p.m. yesterday, and then an election is currently ongoing in Karufi Madaki, a polling unit here in Bauchi Metropolis, and then collation of results are still going on. People are still bringing in their results, and results are being collated.
All right, so while we wait for results, these are the videos that people sent in today on the collation, the process, and everything they think happened between yesterday and is still happening at this time. So patience is what we're still preaching at this moment. Especially because it's understandable. It's like writing an examination. And you know, you feel you did well and you're looking forward to the results. You can't wait for it. Well, this is not the CBT where you get your results just almost immediately. This is a process. And, you know, talking about what the observers spoke about, I mean, from different parts of the country, they noticed some hiccups here and there. And I'm glad that there's still another chance to correct these hiccups, and that's coming in a few weeks when we'll have the governorship election. So with this one, I know that the electoral umpire must have learned some things from how this all went, so they can make those corrections when the gubernatorial elections come. But generally, we heard from the last lady there saying that generally elections were quite peaceful, even though we had pockets of violence in parts of the country, but generally I think it was good. Okay, so let's take a look at how collation is going in some other parts of the country at this moment as we await the official opening of INEC's Collation Center in the nation's capital, Abuja. Remember, the opening is at 6 p.m. Yeah. So we'll be joining that very soon. All right, so those are pictures from different parts of the country. You can also be a part of the conversation by using the hashtag Pollstream, the verdict 2019 elections on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Remember, while you send those pictures, please use the hashtag, because that's the only way we can find those pictures and then share it on Pollstream.
You know, would like to know your highs and your lows concerning yesterday's elections, because we still have a chance to, you know, update or upgrade, I should say, the electoral process. It's I would like to say it's a process, and you know, we get better by the day. So send your ups, your downs, your highs and lows, and we'll share it with the world.
So you can also hashtag experience so that we'll find them. And so maybe we'll do a recap of all the things we've said. So we have the don'ts, which we've said.
So the first do, actually, from Markwe Ogun Yusuf, who joined us live through our virtual reality interface from Abuja. The first do she gave us was stay informed. It's really important to stay informed at this point. And that's why you have Channels Television.
Of course.
To keep you informed.
You have to keep watching.
And then she gave us a don't, which is do not be too excited to spread things that are not verified, especially results. Results
from local government everywhere. Do not spread results at the moment so that it doesn't incite anyone. So let's wait for the electoral umpire to give us the final results for this election.
So the only reason you can actually do that is if you are the INEC chairman, and there's only one INEC chairman. So
that's Mahmoud Yakubu.
So be guided.
All right. Thank you so much. Maybe we'll leave you with more pictures, but that is it on Pollstream at this hour. Please send your pictures so that you can be part of the show. And thank you so much for all those who have sent in pictures. We truly appreciate you. And we want more of it so that we can actually share on Pollstream, where we bring you all the details of things happening on social media.
I am Kayode Okikio.
And I'm Anne Nwawado. Thanks a lot for watching.